Howdy, y'all, and welcome to Texas. Today, I want to show you what broadheads I will be using this fall. Since last year, I have upgraded my archery setup with a newer bow, new arrows, and new broadheads. I'm now drawing 65 pounds and have built multiple arrow options that I'm looking forward to trying. The base idea was to build a fairly standard arrow for my new bow and draw weight, but also to test out the option of an adult arrow. Here's everything that I'm hoping to test this coming season. First is my arrow. I'm using Black Eagle Rampages. These come with stock 50 grain half outserts, what I believe are Black Eagle branded blazer vanes, and standard Black Eagle nocks. I'm pairing this arrow with a variety of 125 grain broadheads. With that much weight up front, I opted for a 350 spine arrow cut 28.5 inches carbon to carbon. That brings my total weight up to about 440 grains and somewhere around 16% FOC. Every forward of center calculator that I've put my components in has given me a different value. However, they fly straight at about 270 feet per second and are as accurate as I can be. The first broadhead that I chose to use is a Magnus Stinger Buzzcut 4-blade. I previously used a lighter and non-serrated version of this last year with little success. I shot 2 separate hogs and had full pass-throughs, or would have if I didn't hit the ground on the opposite side. One of those I did not recover as it went across the property line and I didn't want to deal with contacting neighbors over a feral pig, and the other I just didn't choose to track. I have also wounded 2 white-tailed does with that broadhead. I'm hoping that with my beefier setup and keeping those broadheads sharp, I won't have the same problem. The next broadhead that I'm going to use is one I didn't really mean to buy. Shortly after purchasing my new bow and arrows, I was looking everywhere for some 125 grain broadheads to start tuning. These G5 Montecs are all that I could find. Overall, they fly great, even though they are a little loud. They are extremely easy to sharpen and maintain, and I know that some people really love them. I have killed 2 pigs in a trap with a cheaper fixed 3-blade broadhead, and it performed really well, but I have lost a deer to that same cheap broadhead. That was earlier in my archery hunting efforts and not the best shot that I could have made. These look like great performers, and I'm excited to try them out. The last 125 grain offering that I'm planning to try is a Sever 2.0. I am pretty nervous about using any kind of mechanical broadhead, so I attempted to find one of the most durable ones that I could. Severs seem to always survive durability tests in the reviews that I found of them, but they seem to have trouble penetrating compared to other mechanicals. I also may have made this worse by picking the widest option available with the 2-inch, but I feel like that is always the argument of a mechanical. Everyone who promotes mechanicals says, I want the widest cut so I can do as much damage as possible. This is my way of planning to put that to the test. However, I may wait to use it on a smaller pig or doe. I have already lost animals to fixed blade broadheads, but mechanicals still make me nervous. That is exactly why I need to put them to the test. Moving along to my heavy setup. I watched all of the Ranch Fairy videos and used his test kit from Ethics Archery to see what weight heads fly best in different spine arrows out of my bow. I settled on a 250 spine arrow with a 100 grain Ethics Archery half outsert and a 200 grain point. After I knock tuned them, I bought some Zinger 1.0 3D printed fletchings. I don't have a fletching jig and wanted to see what steps I could take to increase the FOC of my arrows. These come out to around 630 grains with a 20.5% FOC, and they fly a whopping 215 feet per second. I've shot these out to 50 yards and know my holds for it compared to my 0 for my other arrow. However, I am planning on keeping shots with this inside 25 yards, as I understand how slow it is. I'll be shooting over corn in a lot of spots, or I'll be setting my saddle up right off trails where I expect deer to come. The broadhead that I'm pairing with this heavy arrow is a cutthroat single bevel. I would have tried any 200 grain single bevel broadhead, but the cutthroats came in at the right price point. These are extremely easy to sharpen if you have a Lansky, and I've even taped some 1200 grit sandpaper to a table and pushed the bevel along that. These are really stout and they look pretty cool. I know there's a lot of controversy about heavy and high FOC arrows, but going through the arrow making and tuning process gave me a lot of opportunity to get to know my bow and its capabilities. I'm not concerned about how much they drop compared to a standard arrow. I feel like if you are properly sighted in or know your holds, then it's kind of a non-issue. I know my holds, and I have a limit set for how close a deer needs to be for me to send an arrow. I'm not going to pretend to be an authority on broadheads and archery hunting. I'm still trying to learn and have not had any success in the past 2 seasons. Everyone has different opinions on bows, broadheads, speed, momentum, acceptable yardage. Everyone knows all you need is, or, well, that's a waste of time. I don't think the time I spent knock tuning was a waste because that was more time I spent tinkering with my bows and arrows than I've ever done. I've used the setup that a guy at a bow shop said was all that I need. I'm not here to barely scrape by, I'm here to kill deer and pigs. I like the comment of, I have guns. I don't need a bow to fill my freezer. I can and have taken care of that every year during gun season. I want more time in the woods. I want more opportunities to hunt. I want to do something that is difficult for me and become a better outdoorsman in the process. I'm looking forward to this season and seeing how it goes. I'm planning to log all of my data from shots that I take from both guns and archery equipment and have a way to present projectile performance at the end of the season. I'd love your help by you logging your shot data as well. I've created a survey form that I have linked in the description below. It logs all sorts of information about the shot that I want to analyze. Log all of your successes and your failures. Data is no good if everyone just shows their success. Logging wound data is critical to learning what does and doesn't work. Please check it out. Send any questions, feedback, or additional data to the email at the top of the survey. I hope everyone has a great hunting season. I have really high hopes of hunt success and am going to be trying to get some shots on film this year. Good luck filling your freezer. Get out there, kill, and eat.